Welcome to Section 1, Introduction, the backbone of your home. Building a house is like putting together a giant puzzle. And just like any puzzle, it needs a strong framework to hold everything together. That's where house framing comes in. It's the skeleton of your home, the sturdy structure that supports everything from the walls and roof to the windows and doors. A well-built frame ensures that your house will be strong, stable, and able to withstand the test of time. Think of it like the bones in your body. They provide support and shape. In this step-by-step guide, we'll walk you through the process of house framing, from the initial planning stages to putting the final touches on your structure. Moving on to Section 2, Getting Started, Tools and Materials. Before you can start building, you'll need the right tools and materials. Gathering everything you need beforehand will make the framing process much smoother and more efficient. The most common type of lumber used for framing is dimensional lumber, which comes in standard sizes like 2x4s, 2x6s, and 2x10s. You'll also need plywood for sheathing, which covers the exterior walls and roof, and oriented strand board, or OSB, a similar material often used for subfloors. You'll need a circular saw, miter saw, reciprocating saw, and a nail gun for fastening everything together. Other essential tools include a tape measure, a level, a chalk line, a framing square, and a sledgehammer. Safety equipment is also crucial. Always wear safety glasses, work gloves, and hearing protection when using power tools. By having the right tools and materials on hand, you'll be well equipped to tackle the framing process with confidence. Now for Section 3, Laying the Foundation, a solid start. Every structure needs a solid foundation, and a house is no exception. The foundation supports the entire weight of the house and distributes it evenly to the ground, preventing settling and cracking. There are different types of foundations, but the most common for residential construction is the concrete slab foundation. It involves pouring a concrete slab directly on the ground, reinforced with steel bars for strength. Before pouring the slab, it's crucial to ensure the ground is level and compacted to prevent future settling. Once the foundation is cured and ready, it's time to start laying out the walls. Using a chalk line and a tape measure, carefully mark the locations of the walls on the foundation, following the dimensions specified in your plans. Double-check your measurements and make sure all the corners are square. With the walls accurately laid out on the foundation, you're ready to start framing up the walls. Finally, we reach Section 4, Walls that stand strong, framing upwards. With the foundation in place, it's time to erect the walls, the vertical supports that will give your house its shape. Framing walls involves assembling a series of vertical studs, horizontal plates, and connecting headers and sills. Start by laying out the wall sections on the foundation, using the chalk lines as a guide. The bottom plate, a horizontal piece of lumber, will sit directly on the foundation. Use a nail gun to fasten the bottom plate to the foundation, ensuring it's flush with the edge. Next, cut the studs, the vertical members of the wall, to the correct height. Studs are typically spaced 16 inches apart, center to center. Nail the studs to the top and bottom plates, creating the wall frame. For openings like windows and doors, you'll need to frame headers, which are horizontal beams that span the opening and support the weight above. Once the wall sections are assembled, carefully tilt them up into position. Use temporary braces to keep the walls plumb until they are permanently secured. With the walls standing tall, it's time to add the roof, the protective shell that will shield your home from the elements. Framing a roof involves creating a sloped structure that sheds water and snow, supported by a network of rafters, ridge boards, and ceiling joists. The first step is to install the ceiling joists, which span the width of the house and support the ceiling below. Securely nail the ceiling joist to the top plate of the walls, creating a level surface. Next, determine the roof pitch, or the angle of the roof slope. Once you've determined the pitch, mark the location of the ridge board, the highest point of the roof, on the ceiling joists. Cut the rafters, the sloping members of the roof frame, to the correct length and angle, using a framing square to ensure accuracy. Nail the rafters to the ridge board at the top and the wall plates at the bottom, creating a series of triangles that form the roof structure. Finally, sheathe the roof with plywood or OSB, attaching it to the rafters with nails. Just like a human body needs ligaments and tendons to hold bones together and provide stability, a framed house needs bracing to resist lateral forces like wind and earthquakes. Bracing adds rigidity to the structure, preventing it from twisting or racking under stress. One common type of bracing is diagonal bracing, also known as let-in bracing. Another type of bracing is shear wall bracing, which uses plywood or OSB sheathing to create a strong, rigid wall panel that resists lateral forces. By incorporating adequate bracing and other structural elements, you can ensure that your framed house is strong enough to withstand the forces of nature. Windows and doors are essential components of any house, providing natural light, ventilation, and access to the outdoors. Framing windows and doors requires careful planning and attention to detail to ensure a weather-tight and energy-efficient installation. Before you begin framing, review your building plans to determine the size and location of each window and door. Measure carefully and mark the openings on the wall framing using a level and a chalk line to ensure accuracy. Framing a window or door opening involves creating a rough opening in the wall, framing that is slightly larger than the unit itself. This allows for shimming and adjustments during installation. Cut the header to the correct width and install it between the king studs, which are the vertical studs that flank the opening. Next, install the trimmer studs, which are the vertical studs that run from the header down to the bottom plate. Once the rough opening is framed, you can install the window or door unit. Apply a bead of sealant around the opening to prevent air and water infiltration. Section 8. Safety first. Protecting yourself. Construction sites can be hazardous environments, and house framing is no exception. Falling objects, sharp tools, and slippery surfaces are just a few of the potential dangers you may encounter. Always wear appropriate safety gear, including safety glasses, work gloves, and hearing protection. A hard hat is also essential, especially when working around overhead construction or in areas where materials are being moved. Be aware of your surroundings and potential hazards. Use caution when working at heights, and never stand on anything that is not stable and secure. Remember, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Section 9. Quality counts. Building to last. When it comes to house framing, quality matters. A well-built frame crafted with precision and attention to detail will result in a stronger, more durable, and longer-lasting home. Use high-quality lumber that is straight, dry, and free from knots and other defects. Take your time and make accurate cuts. Precise cuts ensure that the framing members fit together snugly, creating a stronger and more stable structure. Pay attention to detail. Ensure that all framing members are plumb, level, and square. Inspect your work regularly. Double-check your measurements, ensure that all connections are secure, and make any necessary adjustments. By focusing on quality, you can build a home that stands the test of time. Section 10. Real-world applications from plans to reality. Now that you have a solid understanding of the fundamentals of house framing, let's explore some real-world applications. Imagine taking your vision from paper to reality, using the skills you've learned to create the framework for your dream home. Consider a simple gable roof, a popular choice for its classic design and straightforward construction. For a more complex design, imagine framing a dormer, a roofed structure that projects vertically from a sloping roof. Dormers add visual interest and increase living space by creating headroom within the roof structure. Another real-world application is framing a deck, an outdoor living space that extends your home's footprint and provides a connection to nature. Framing a deck involves creating a level platform supported by posts, beams, and joists. Proper framing is essential for a safe and enjoyable outdoor living experience. By understanding the fundamentals of framing, you can confidently tackle a wide range of building challenges. Section 11. Conclusion: your framed future awaits. Mastering house framing is an empowering achievement, one that equips you with the skills and knowledge to create the structural backbone of your home. Remember the importance of quality materials, accurate measurements, and meticulous attention to detail. Every nail you drive, every cut you make, contributes to the overall strength and integrity of your structure. With the knowledge you've gained, you can confidently approach your next building project, whether it's framing a small addition, a garden shed, or even your dream home. The skills you've developed will serve you well for years to come, allowing you to bring your visions to life and create a space that is uniquely yours. So go forth, armed with your newfound knowledge, and frame your future with confidence and pride.